this on? Uh, Distinguished guest. First of all, credit on a bank holiday with such a morbid subject to listen to, either here or glued to the television. I'm really honored, excited, and also the butterflies all together. Ladies and gentlemen, a little bit about myself, which they have not disclosed. My father, at the age of 70, after getting a stroke, paralytic stroke from nowhere, developed Alzheimer's disease next 2 years and passed away. 20 years later, my mother passed away with the same disease but different type. And that was not so rapid. It was gradual for 20 years. Me and my family went through looking after them, a stressful thing. But at the same time, my parents taught us and my family how to deal with such problem. That's a great teaching and hands-on teaching. So what we really learned was having an elderly, healthy one in the house is always welcome. It's very nice to have an elderly and then talk very good about him and be an asset. Chronically ill, but mobile, ambulatory, old man is definitely stressful, but okay. And then you have a completely diseased person, all the time bedridden. And that is really great stress starts with the carer. And the last generation is when you have a brain degenerated person lying in a bed all the time, not knowing what is going around in the world, and the carer has to look after. Mind you, let me tell you that none of my patients grumbled, carer grumbled, but I knew from their day-to-day behavior that they were all stressed up. My teaching came from them. And today's topic is just sharing with you my experience, my feelings for the old people, and why I selected geriatrics, the old people's medicine, for this. Well, it is not a bauddhic, it is not a teaching. It is just sharing my views with you all. And please feel free to ask any questions whenever, if I can solve them. Well, that is called positive aging. Okinawa, Japan. It's a town on the, I think, east coast of Japan, where there are about 100-year-old people and living very happily. What I read from them is they're constantly working. All those 100-year-old people, they are always busy, except for the time when they sleep. And they are busy physically, mentally, and they are happy. So if you believe in incarnation, I think worth living in Okinawa. At least that's my wish, that next time, if at all I go, I'll have a stay in Okinawa and not in Bombay. Well, the nature's rule is that you have a blooming tree like this and followed by the wickety trees like this. The same thing happens to the human beings also. If you are not lucky to die, your old age is mandatory. And to be healthy is by choice and your choice only. Eleanor Roosevelt, the president's wife, ex-president's wife, very aptly put it, beautiful young people are the accidents. You know, those of you got married by eating kanda poha and all those things, selecting your bride and all. And they are very handsome looking people, but that's an accident they met. But to have a beautiful old people is an art. They have cultivated that, and that's how it works. So what is the definition of an elder? Elder is the one who is no more thinking young and keeping themselves fit, irrespective of their age. While those who think young, understands young better, and also respect them are definitely not going to age at all. I am trying to make it. P.L. Deshpande, the famous literary man, had put it very rightly. He said that Kutumbatla Tarun Mandalinshi Zamun Gena is an art. Getting along with an old people is an art. But almost all old people topple on it. A brief democratic graphically what India starts. In 1947, our standard living age limit was about 32. Now 75 years later, what we have is somewhere about 70 plus. So we are living long. And that is because the death rate has gone down. Modern medicine should be thanked. And birth rate also has gone. Nobody thinks about siblings now. So what is happening is that we are going to have about 15% population of old people. And when I meant old people, it was above 65. So just imagine a single child. As I said, nobody has siblings. They don't think of siblings. The child will have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, if they really live, and of different ages, perhaps. So elderly, this group becomes a bit of a society problem. And what happens is, this group is very unorganized, unrecognized by the society, non-productive, and that is why they are not recognized. They are dependent, and sadly, they are not wanted by the society. It's not a single hospital in India devoted purely for these elderly people. And we are going to have 15% of population going into the hospitals regularly in short time. So that is the thing what we have to do. So why elderly becomes a problem? And that is because of the attitude of self and the society. We ourselves, when we become old, we are not ready to keep ourselves fit. At the same time, we keep on pampering. I have become old. So society should respect me. A society should understand me better. Nuclear family. Nuclear family is going to stay now because of the lack of space, and one can't gamble. Initially, sometime 10-15 years back, we used to talk very high about nuclear family. Now it is a need. It's a must that you have to have a nuclear family. Longevity, doctors are responsible for that. We promptly treat the disease, whatever benefit they have. And that is why the people start living long. Quality of life, it's another story. Awareness. We are not aware of getting old. We are not ready to understand that we'll get old and we'll have some problems. And the problems also are different. My father had a different problem, a lifestyle of his own when he was working. I had a different, and my son has still different. My father used to come home, have his tea, go to a friend's place or whatever. I, being a doctor, I used to travel. My son, he doesn't travel, or he just tells us that we are not coming today, we are coming tomorrow. The reason is audit. I learned this word audit only when my son became a chartered accountant. Anything is delayed, audit. Well, I think the audit has to be important as far as we are concerned. When we become old, I think it is essential that we do audit of ourselves. But there are other problems also, and there are physical problems. Your body becomes frail, your disabled become disabled, and then dependent. And these all things gather together, old man becomes a demanding. He expects everything, and that's really becomes a big problem. International Federation of Aging named this as a positive aging in 1999, and WHO also promptly said it is active aging. How do you classify the elderly? Why elderly becomes a topic of the discussion? The first and foremost thing is retirement. When you are retired from your work, suddenly there is a bump that you are not wanted. And same thing happens when you are relocated. When the person is shifted from a big house to a small house, or from one son to another daughter, this relocation of the uh, old man's place of staying creates a more problem. And then there are single people, then there are couples also. There are very famous Marathi plays, Natasamrat and Sandhya Chaya, excellent plays depicting what happens with a single couple, single person or couples. If you are financially self-sufficient, okay, you are better off. But dependent on your children or someone else is going to be a problematic. And there is one more classification which I came across in my practice, was whose children are abroad. They have money, dollars, and they keep on giving this thing, money to the, and they keep phoning doctors here who are treating their old people that money is no problem. Do everything for them. Okay, it's all right to say, but here the doing something for a sick person or old person is an issue itself. So this becomes a very classical pain in a wrong place. Classification faced by the family doctor, as I was, I faced them. There are healthy people. They are very conscious people, very negligible, but they are conscious. Then there are some people who are not having the realization that they have a problem. They are asymptomatic. Acutely ill patients, they go to the hospitals. Chronically ill patients, they come back and then they become property of the carer. And then convalescent people. And the last is terminally ill patient. These terminally ill patients are very, very difficult to treat. Fortunately, last Sunday only I attended a lecture in Masina Hospital that they are coming out with a palliative care. This is, I think, second palliative care center in Bombay. And it is going to be very, very important because we will require them. They will come home. It is run by Dr. Boman Dabar, and it is just now coming up. It's not yet full-fledged this thing. And what are the causes? The causes are again retirement, bereavement, and then there is a boredom creating from this. Loneliness is killing. And all this creates a vacuum. You don't know what to do. So we are creating the problems and treating them. Environmental problem, the lack of space. The family is growing. You lose independence. You lose the attention. And you lose the privacy. All this thing happens because of the lack of space. Physical fitness. We are never taught of physical fitness. We don't know how to stand properly. Nobody stands properly. That comes problematic when you become old because you are not balancing yourself. So loss of strength, stamina, skill, and suppleness, all these factors come. Then there are two different types. One is physiological and another is pathological. Physiological problems are age-wise. It is considered as age-wise, but it's not necessarily the age only. The body declines, all the system declines, and that's why you get physical declinement. The commonest part is vision, your impairment vision, impairment hearing, and dental degeneration. These are the three things which will, you like it or not, it will come. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, some technical problem. So these are the things which are bound to happen. To degree will change. Not necessarily everybody will unlucky to have this. Also, the skin will keep on drying, cracking, sometimes bleeding. Then they'll have multiple warts, multiple moles, some odd mole or thing will come on the face. Change in bowel habits. And it is bound to happen because of the fluctuation of water intake as you grow old. And then there is a sleep disorder. Now, the sleep disorder, when it is early, the pattern changes. You fall off to sleep for no reason at any time. Fortunately, all of you are awake. I have seen while talking to me in some other place, one fellow started snoring. Well, I think it is natural. People were embarrassed who organized the lecture. I said, don't disturb him, let him enjoy the snoring. We'll wait, we'll start again. And he got up as if nothing had happened, and really nothing was happened because I snore. Only my wife knows about it. So the sleep disturbances, but when this sleep disorder becomes acute and you are awake practically the whole night and then fall off to sleep, these are the earliest signs of dementia. If you at all you find your relation for no reason keeping awake whole night and falling off to sleep at 4 o'clock or something, and then not waking up till 10 o'clock, and then everybody says, oh, Aji was sleeping later, awake the whole night later. That is the sign, earliest sign. Please keep in mind, because the earlier you treat it, the better you are. And there are different types of siestas. I am a Goan. I belong to Goa, where people are known to be susegat. That means they enjoy sleeping, anywhere. Eat fish curry and rice and sleep. So I love these siestas. They can be morning, they can be like this, wonderfully sleeping, watching TV, both of them snoring maybe, but enjoyment. One more problem after the sleeping is with unavoidable, and that is incontinence, where you have no control on a urination or stools also sometimes, because your bladder gets full. And then now this can happen because of the weakness of one particular muscle in the perineum area, which can cause this. It's not a disease as such, but it's a weakness. Like you are getting arthritis or pain anywhere in the joints and then feeling this. So most important thing, self-medication. This attitude happens more, again, in cities, metropolitan cities like this. And then doctor shopping. Somebody told, "Arey, Nana Chowk mein Bhaji Galli mein bada acha doctor hai." They come. That's where I used to practice. But then it's not the thing. Doctor shopping helps only doctors. No patient is helped by different shopping. Rather, he is more confused. In the bargain, all the 3 doctors who are shopped have earned their bread, butter, jam, cheese, everything. Not the patient. This has to be a big problem with the elderlies. There is also called intergenerational relationship. As you grow old, every 10 years, the old man's attitude towards listening, to argue, to understand, to relate, everything changes. You will realize that 10 years back, your elderly person in the house who was so polite, suddenly loses his anger. The worst is anxiety. That your grandchild not come home for half an hour, they'll keep on pacing the floor. Parents will say, don't worry, she is going to come late. But then this generational changing places will happen. And it is uncontrollable, but it can be helped. Now, there are other causes which can be because of certain diseases. I can't mention all of them, but the most important things I'll mention. And the first and foremost is falls. Any fall, anywhere. These are the reasons why you are saying environmental, lot of cluster happening in the house. This my granny has given, keep it. This my other friend has given, keep it. So you find accumulating the fractures and everything. There is no place to move and you fall. Muscle power becoming weak. There is a thing called syncope. For no reason, you suddenly faint. Blackout happens, and then you become conscious again. So you ask, what happened? He said, I don't know, some blackout came, and next thing I know, you're saying, kya hua, uto, uto. And I was awake, and nothing happened. These are the circulatory disturbances which can happen. That can be very treatable. So these are the things, and then the cognitive things, like how you go. But why this happens is the main disease is called osteoporosis, where your bone structure goes down and bone mass goes down. It is said that you must have a perfect spine. Pathisa kana mazbut paije, strong spine. It is a wishful thinking. But lack of bone mass, reducing the bone mass, you will find that your height goes down as you become old. These are the causes which can give rise to fall for no reason. And this is just to show that a nurse from some Irish hospital, and few days later after her job was, she retired and everything, and within a month she became like this. And it was all because of the osteoporotic fuse. Biggest culprit in old age is depression. Depression happens, first of all, you don't realize that you are depressed. Either you are not mixing up or you are not eating properly or whatever it is. So it is easily treatable at that time. But if you allow it to delay it, the advanced depression is very, very bad. Because it requires medication, and each and every medication will have a problem. But then you have to take it and suffer this thing. So depression is the one which can be prevented and should be. Heart. Heart is an organ, well, all hospitals are thriving on it. ICUs, cath labs. Nobody has time to explain you why you require a bypass. But you are required. Urgency is created or happens, well, contradictory statement I'm making, but it does happen. So, but the brain, it affects the whole family. It doesn't happen only to the patient. Simple stroke, which my father had, entered into a dementia, Alzheimer's disease within 2 years, and he passed away. But then stroke and degeneration disease are not the only thing which happens in the brain. There are other diseases where it can happen, and that is, well, this is the earliest sign which you suddenly lose your way to come home, your confusion happens. And these are the earliest signs, as I told you about the sleeping disorder. Well, these are the stalwarts who conducted the Second World War. Uh, all three of them has not a dementia, but the cerebrovascular disease of the brain and degeneration of the. So your intelligence in the earlier stages doesn't make any difference. Parkinson is the most unfortunate disease which you can have. There's no cause known, no treatment. Treatment is there, but then it's a more of a preventive. The damage always takes place. Alzheimer is the name which is now. It's also a part of dementia. Well, Alzheimer disease for a patient is okay because he or she doesn't understand what is going on. It is the other family, carer who are suffered. They are the one. Now, there is a concept in developing countries to train the carers how to handle this situation. It is coming in Bombay also in a small way, but it does come. So this Alzheimer's, how can advanced Alzheimer can look is this. Another culprit and biggest is diabetes. Diabetes is going to be the number one disease in India. Indians are going to be number one for diabetes, and it needs to be treated. It is said in medicine that if you know diabetes, you know medicine. It is, you don't require anything else to know. It is also named as metabolic disorder or a lifestyle disorder. The lifestyle disorders, like for example, all corporate people, all the time sitting in this thing, partying in the night under the effect of requirement of the business or whatever it is. So the whole lifestyle changes. There are no lack of exercises. Eating habits are different. And this contributes to the diabetes. Well, Wasim Akram, fast bowler, he comes on the television for promoting to take care of diabetes. He used to take insulin and play the test match. And he comes on the television for advertisement. Halle Berry is Oscar winner Hollywood actress. She detected that she was a diabetic at the age of, I think, 9 or 10. And she became a girl in Hollywood, James Bond girl, and she won the Oscar. So diabetes, and she also comes on the television for promoting the day. Obesity is the culprit, another culprit. We lose the control, and then we get into such difficult situations, different types of obesity, shape, everything. Men are not spared. Don't think that I am gender biased. I'm ashamed. That's why I could pick up only one film. But there are certain warning signs which all we young people who are handling elders should know. And the first is, whenever you have a mental confusion for no reason to your elderly person in the house, impaired intelligence, impaired vision, hearing, bowel habits for no reason changing, he's going to the toilet, or he doesn't go to the toilet for 2 or 3 days. Yeah? Changes in bowel habit, changes in urinary system, not able to pass urine properly, many such things. So these are the things where you require to take them to the hospital as early as possible, because it can happen a catastrophe. And why it can happen? Because you really don't know in medical problems in elderly what is going to come out in your lab. So the presentation of the medical problems is because they are always in multiple. They never come in one. It's not only simple chest pain or something, that it may have also sweating or something like that. deeper gravity, higher incidences, multiple complications. Always they never become all right quickly. They take a delayed time to take the, and every illness has a tendency to become terminal. So treating an elderly is a tightrope walk. We require the help of all these people. It's a multidisciplinary task. Patient is required, spouse always, all particularly the men will have a wife who will look after, not necessarily the other way around. It has happened in my practice that I have seen, because they are all Sati Savitris, and they look after children, friends, and involvement of a good family doctor, which is a difficult thing. And it's a different issue to talk about. So what is the dress code? We have to be properly dressed all the time, irrespective of whether you have got to go to office or not office, because it presents yourself properly. Don't be in a house coat, house gown, or a striped pant or a half pants or whatever. Be prepared to bring a good look. This is the lady from Pandharpur, a religious place where we all go. She was captured and one photographer just asked her, "May I take your photograph?" She said, "Yes." Then she said, "Wait for a minute. Why is there a thumb?" He said, "Kai?" No, the photographer thought that she doesn't want to get photographs. She was not. She properly made her pallu, put off all the ornaments properly, and gave us such a sexy smile to please everyone. Remember that. The nails, your fingernails are good, but your toenails are very difficult to taken care of. And because you can't bend forward as you grow, you need a help to do that. And hygienes of hair, as you grow old, your hair, I got a bigger forehead, and next time you see me, may not have the hair at all. So the visit to the beauty parlor will be less because there are no hair growths. So what is there to do the waxing? There is no hair only. This can happen. So it's a good thing to happen because it saves the money. Toilet discipline. Genital care. So you have to take care of penis, vagina, because you can't reach there. And the commonest infections happen there and they come to us as a doctor. Walking, footwear. This is a dental, now the dentistry is so advanced that you can get not necessarily artificial teeth, but you get implants, and implants make it. If you have a photograph of your old taken, keep it preserved, because the dentist may ask you to give a photograph so that he can make these folds which are there and look almost the same what you were looking and not a different person. Hearing it. You must have a hearing properly because it can create an accident. Comfortable shoes is very important. After the retirement, I tell my patients, I said, look, buy one nice Skechers or Nike or whatever, Adidas or whatever, because they are very important. Wear them whole day so that your walk will be proper. Footwear is extremely important. Same thing is with the sticks. Don't feel insulted to carry a stick. Stick protects you. If you're a blind man, there is a signal for that stick, white and blue, white and yellow, if I mistake not for the hearing. And if you have a stick, people will take care of you. You don't have to take care of yourself. Nobody pushes the stick holding man. Fixtures, as I told, collecting all sorts of things and creating a small place. Prevention of falls. Nowadays, you do get folding things which you can carry to the this thing. If you are staying in a joint toilets, you can carry them and very easy. Then there are, to prevent falls, there are mats which are available now. My first earlier slide was only the mats. And people started, after the lecture, they started asking, hey, where do I get these mats and why mats and all? So I said, okay, what this simple question they are asking. One art school student who had freshly graduated told me, he says, sir, in that ad, you put a woman with wrapped in a towel. I did. And nobody asked me now, where do I get the tap? So they all know. Moral of the story, everybody looks at the woman, irrespective whether he is a man or a woman. That has got nothing to do with the mats. Medical care. Medical care is very important because you don't want to land up with a complication and bedridden and be a nuisance to your children. You must have a family doctor. That family doctor breed has gone now. There are various economical reasons why medical family doctors are not there. But if you can find one, I can't say good like me, it becomes a propagation for my profession. I am no more practicing, so I can say that. But having a family doctor to discuss is very, very important. You have a long history, so you must be prepared for telling them that history. You must be able to close enough to discuss the sexuality. Don't hesitate, irrespective of age. It is required. It is said that discussion of sex or talking of sex or having sex is never a barrier to a healthy ongoing process. False cultural pretensions, physical disability, mental disability, long-standing sexual maladjustment, and not being an attractive spouse can be one of the causes. And mind you, all these causes are treatable, medically treatable, easily treatable. Diabetes, again, as I said earlier, the diabetes is going to cause this problem, biggest problem. But treating a diabetes is an orchestrated medicine. You can't only play saxophone in an orchestra. You need drama to it. Same thing happens with diabetes. You need a nephrologist, you need an eye specialist. Nothing like your family doctor who can handle all these things together much clearer, much better. So orchestrating this. June Allison, another Hollywood star, I purposely show this photograph because she, at the peak of her career, gave up that career, but to have a foundation to create an awareness and research on incontinence, which I told you that you're losing the control on the urine, at the peak of her career. And the results were the same lady, the bridegroom's mother, who laughed and made her panties wet, is no more doing that because the science has advanced. There are medicines and there are compliances aids which are available now very freely, and they should be worn so you can enjoy the life. For men, the prostate is the one which causes the problem, and there is an area of the muscle which can control that dribbling and needs an exercise like any other exercise to hold the breath and tighten the sphincter of the anus or urine, and then you can stop. As if there is somebody in the toilet, you are in a hurry to go and then you can't go because there is someone, so you hold it. What do? You tighten your small breath and hold the sphincter. So these are the things. You need emotional care also. Non-interference, you have to don't interfere with your children, grandchildren. Enjoy them. Non-dependence. Remember, you can't depend for everything. You have to learn how not to depend. Don't expect everything. Mentally prepared for separation and loneliness, which is followed by. So, what is the mantra for the old age? It is said that your profession should not necessarily be your life after the retirement, particularly for the intellectuals of chartered accountants. They still think that they will not retire. Doctors are worst. They still think that they can carry on practice. Well, yes, if you are updated, yes, why not? But then be prepared for that. Dr. Peter Drucker, the famous management guru, it is called, United States, he had put it very rightly: instead of worrying about the future, create your future. And when I read that, the first person who came across my name was Dr. Shirodkar. I had a privilege to be his student in JJ Hospital, Motli Bai Hospital. He was a world famous gynecologist, not only India. And after retirement from JJ Hospital, he started learning few hours of the day a violin. He was practicing, but he used to learn violin also. And over a year later, he made a concert. He could do that. Devanand, perpetual, all the time busy man. So look at the Konkona Sen's face. It's more enjoyable. Sitara, at the age of 80 plus, she performed in Shanmukanand Hall. Hussein, who can still paint horses and have a moose at that age. Well, so what is the preventive advice? Mark Twain said it: if you don't mind it, doesn't matter. Enjoy it. So remain physically fit, mentally fit, refrain from the interference, and prepare for separation. And of all the important thing, develop a hobby. I told one old patient of mine to develop a hobby. He said, I started learning harmonium. And he started playing because he was getting no sleep. So early morning he used to start playing. Then the neighbors, everybody started. So remember, whatever your hobby you see to it that it remains. Buy a good Bose noise-free headphones, and you only do it. You only see to it that nobody is bothered. It is said that grief, whenever you have somebody died or your partner leaves, so it takes its care by itself. That time is very important. Time always helps you. But if you have a joy, and if you need to share it, and nobody is better than your friends. Develop friendship, create friendship, maintain friendship. Nowadays you can talk. I am on the online now, many whosoever may be hearing me. So have friends with them. Siestas, as I told, I am a Goan. Select a friend who will also have a siesta with you. If you have any supporter offering you help, never reject it. Never reject it, enjoy it, because that will come handy. Same thing, create a hobby. You can have a garden. Again, be prepared not to disturb anybody else. Paintings, whatever it is, your hobby. Learn at least to make a cup of coffee or tea or whatever. When you are no more with a spouse, at least have that. You don't have to wake up your daughter-in-law to prepare a cup of coffee because you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you can't go to toilet without having a coffee. So what you do is wake up your daughter-in-law. Have that much thing. Exercises. It is now said that you need a physiotherapy. There is a branch of geriatric physiotherapy. in developing countries. You start doing some physiotherapy, some organized exercises by taking consultation with the physiotherapist at the age of 65 onwards. After that age, you start adding one exercise different than the previous one every 6 months and do 2 exercises. So by the time you reach 80 plus, which you are bound to read, you are going to have multiple exercises. Simple exercises like standing with one leg up. We used to play called ticker. I don't know whether you all know ticker. I used to play that. Throwing a stone and picking it up. That's all. Do it. It helps your spine. Walk on a catwalk. You see the catwalk models walking. You try and do it. It's very important because that will maintain your balances. Not this picture. Don't think that you can do this. Forget about Sachin Tendulkar as enjoy his cricket, but never try and imitate him. Tai Chi is a Japanese or Vietnamese exercise, which are just movement of the body. Enjoy them, but nothing like long walks. Always go for a walk. Irrespective, don't have to get up in the morning and go. You can go in the afternoon. There's nothing wrong. You are jobless, you are free. Do it in the afternoon. Always change the route. Never go on the same route again and again. Simply because you should not be remembered that, 9 o'clock, Shantaram has walked. So don't allow them. It may be dangerous also because they know that you are not at home. The thefts can occur. It has occurred in our building only. So these are the things which, plus your eyes will get a different picture to this thing. Good company, not necessarily your wife, spouse, somebody else's wife. What's wrong? You can't dare do anything, and if you do, your name will come in the press. Well, good, properly dressed. You should be properly attired for the walk. If you are a gym habit, you can use the gyms also. Do for a regular follow-ups and with a family doctor. Don't go to a specialist. Let him, the family doctor, refer you to the specialist because he knows exactly whom to refer, why to refer, when to refer. He knows your body better than yourself. These are the machines and also the blood test. Now, yesterday I read in the TV, the line came, so-and-so lab offering package of blood. They are not required at all. They are none because it comes in a package and your fat bill will come. Who will benefit? Pathologist. Maybe a patient, not necessarily always. Discuss about your sexology with the doctor. Take his medical assistance. Not to become a stud like this. You don't have to become a stud like this, but have a peaceful mind. You can. Khushwant Singh, very rightly, he was little shy of few year or months for 100 years, century, when he died. He said, I'm a great fan of his, as far as this is concerned. Sex is of real interest to every human being. If you deny it, you are a hypocrite. So why gloss over it? It's fun, interesting, and has so many dimensions. Utilize those dimensions. Do it. This is a photograph of an old age home. This lady and a man, Madeline and Francois, both were in the old age home. She is 95, he is 96, and they got married. It was in France. I think France, it can happen. Here, it may not. But one doesn't know. Here, still people are young here. You can still think of it. Yoga. I am not well versed with this. I don't know how to guide, how to tell, but I have put this photograph to impress you. I don't do any yoga, but it has got its benefits. But I believe in companionship. Either your spouse or your friend's wife or your friend, whosoever, companionship is very secure thing. If you have somebody companion with you, you know that there is someone who cares for you, who is with you. Hugging and kissing, never miss it. For all you know, you are at such an age that in the evening, your partner or spouse will die. And then you'll say, I wish I had hugged him. This has happened in my practice. So don't miss it. Grandchildren, they are assets. Enjoy them. Remember one thing, they are no more your children. They are their parents' children. Let them go to them. Hospitalization. Sorry, but it's another difficult topic to discuss. I will leave it to that because I don't want to go into controversy. A living will. Nowadays, you can make a living will. How much it will be honored is a disputable thing. But you can make a living will. You can always say that do not resuscitate, DNR. Or you can tell the doctor, no ventilator. Let me leave. Now, how much it will be honored is very difficult. There are no law as such. Separation with the grief, one has to be very prepared for it. Dancing. You have to learn or dance. If nothing else, just put on the music or just do any movement of your body. If you are feeling embarrassed, when you're having a bath, before the shower thing starts, you can have a shower, bath and dance. Thank you. Sorry, excuse me. So dancing is very, very important. Do it, irrespective of your age. Just move your legs and a body. Western dance because I got the slides, but otherwise not. Brainy Brown is a geriatric counselor. She has put it very rightly. Laughter, songs, dance, they create emotional connection with the brain. They remind you that one thing that truly matters when we are looking for comfort, celebration, inspiration, or healing, we are not alone. And the classical thing is our farmers. They come from different areas in Maharashtra. They come together on a Ashadi Ekadashi time and walk few kilometers or miles to visit Pandharpur and come back. They are all friends from different area. Whole year they work in the field. But these few days they stay together. They are called Varkaris. And I have met them. I have visited them also. Immense pleasure they have. Immense pleasure of one has to be with them and then realize how helpful they are. There are definitely a good advantages of old age. Don't think that it is morbid, it is so bad. You don't have to prove anything, anytime, to any more and anyone. You be a bacha, you whatever you want. No more complaining, no more repenting. If at all, it is to yourself. And now, as you grow old, you become more likable for modeling. Mr. Bachchan is the classical example. Practically every alternate thing is there. So your autumn has to be bright. It is said that cat has got 9 lives, not you. You have only one. It never seems to be the way we desire, but we live the best we can. There is no such thing as a perfect life, but we can fill it with perfect moments. Life does not depend on the breaths how you take, but on moments which your breath takes away. For example, today's you have taken my breath away. Well, a good presentation, according to Mr. Churchill, Winston Churchill, was it's like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. Well, friends, you can judge me by presentation on a Winston Churchill scale, wherever I stand. You please feel free to do that. Let me conclude this presentation by quoting Mangesh Padgaonkar, who he is a great author. He has described old age, म्हातारपण. येतं म्हटलं की येऊ लागतं म्हातारपण. घेतं म्हटलं की घेऊ लागतं म्हातारपण. तरुण असलो तर तरुण असतं म्हातारपण. पण रडत बसलो की करुण असतं म्हातारपण. So don't creep. It's up to you to decide how to make your old age happy. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Any there's a question on my
This one get over. No, there's a question. I'll just read out the question. What's sorry? Yeah, he's confirming. Yeah. What's your view about excessive usage of social media like WhatsApp, etc., for spending time during old age?
What is that?
What's your view about excessive usage of social media like WhatsApp?
Yeah.
For spending time during old age?
Well, do it. There's nothing wrong in doing it. So far as it's a nuisance free to the others. So it's only up to you. I think instead of you becoming a nuisance to others, you be a nuisance to yourself on a WhatsApp. What's wrong? Please carry on and infect others. Any more? Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
Excellent presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've got my mother who is 87 years and she manages the kitchen.
Sorry?
She manages the kitchen.
Manages what?
Kitchen. Correct. So, but my wife's parents and lot of things what you said, I can resonate, and so your experience is really, specifically those who do not have old people at home.
Yeah.
Correct. It's a really excellent this as to what to do, what not to do.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have visited many old age homes and I have come to a conclusion that it is better to die with all problems with your children around rather than dying all alone in a old age home.
But those are the circumstances. Because
yes. Well, again, economically, we had interviewed all those people. They could have been avoided. It's not easy, but they could have been avoided. It's a passing of this thing. We are in India with a cultural note around us that we still feel caring old people, caring our parents. Many a time there are difficulties. Many difficulties are there. So getting a war boy or getting a ayah to look after is very difficult. But still, we in our country is much better. My daughter is in New Zealand, and right in the beginning we had a permanent visa And we returned it because I thought if at all I have to die here, perhaps nobody will be there to carry me, I mean, that's an extreme thing. But loneliness is too much, but they are independent. That covers their loneliness. They are able to drive, they are able to do, which we have to physically be prepared for that. And our attitude has to change. I haven't mentioned, but one thing is that no, it's okay. But our people are not ready for any change. Any change. Anything computer. See, the question was asked on WhatsApp. It's a latest thing. No? WhatsApp is the latest thing. It was not there 10 years back. But there is a doubt. Why it is bad? No, change is required and change should be accepted. And if an old man learns I'm a computer illiterate, so I need a help from my granddaughters every now and then. But I try to make me understand. You have to accept the change. Anything, any change for that matter.
And I can resonate, how over the years they change. So so for me, I've decided 3 things which I should be mindful. First of all, we should listen to them. So spending time and listening to them is, very, very
that's right.
Fundamental. Secondly, they become lonely, as you rightly touched. So that loneliness is something. How do you kill? Because their others, they start leaving. So that loneliness, how do you kill? And the third one is, and how do you demonstrate that we love them? I think loving and caring. So all this L3.
What was your first one?
Listening to them.
Yes.
Listening to them. Yeah. Because you even if whatever they say, we agree, do not agree, but just listen to them. Get into some kind of discussion. Let them, vent out or, share their experiences, but listen to them.
I'll tell you, as a doctor and a patient, I worked under Dr. Minochar Modi, the old timer, great man. And whenever he used to take me around with a patient, he used to tell me, Arvind, listen to the patient. Don't stop him. Tell him to talk. When he finishes, again ask him, anything else? Anything else? He'll come out. He will give you the diagnosis for the disease, what he is suffering from, and also the treatment. Now, this is true as far as the medicine is concerned. But when I took up geriatric as my passion and started, believe me, I used to spend at least 45 minutes to 1 hour. I used to be prepared for that. I used to tell them, can you please take the appointment and come so that I can give you time. 45 minutes, willingly they would pay me. If they ask me what is my fee, at that time I used to say 100 rupees. They'll keep 200 rupees and go. Because I heard him. I just listened to them. And that's it. What was the second thing was?
Loneliness.
Loneliness.
Because, they become lonely.
You have to be prepared for it. That loneliness will occur sometime or the other. And you have to develop music, reading, television is very important. Television you put on and you go for a shower or something or you eat, you feel that there is somebody in the hall with you. There was a picture, a Hollywood picture, where she was a journalist and she was alone. She used to come home and the first thing was she was putting on the television so that there was a noise in the house. There is somebody else. It was a thriller, so she found out that there was a burglar in the house and all. That's a different. And third one?
Love them. So they should, loving and caring. So, they should feel that they are wanted, they are being loved.
More than they should feel, you keep on doing it. They will automatically feel it. If the animal can feel it, Like cat and dog can feel it. You pat them and give them a properly. A cat and dog understand. What about human being? You keep on giving them. You don't have to prove that they are loved. They will be loved, definitely. Yeah, it's on, I think. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry for that. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It is right. Very important. Very, very important. Yeah. Drop with the sugar. Yeah. Properly. Ah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can you unmute yourself and speak?
Hello. Hello.
Just hold on.
Hemant.
Hello. Doctor, I want to ask you one question. As we grow old, what are the preparations required, mental as well as physical, so that when we actually become old, we are prepared mentally as well physically?
Can you?
Can you just repeat it again, please?
Yeah. Yeah, as we are getting old, what preparation we need to
Sorry.
make? Yeah, what preparation we need to make so that we are mentally prepared, physically prepared, because as everyone has to become old. But if you prepare, as you rightly advised in so many aspects, but any specific suggestion or any specific idea as to what one can do to prepare for the old age?
Well, that is what the lecture was. Uh, first of all, we have to be prepared that we are going to die sometime or the other.
Correct.
We don't know when, but we are definitely. Is a one thing which is 100% going to happen is death. We have to do it.
Absolutely.
So we should be first prepared for that. And the second thing is that you should let it be known to your relation that you are going to miss them wherever you go. Not necessarily they they will miss you. That is different story. But you are going to miss them wherever you go. So death is certain and death has to be there. Otherwise, it will be Yokinawa. There will be more people of one. Yeah, have I satisfied? And preventive of old age, is it how to
prepare for old age?
prepare? Well, I think you just enjoy your life, whatever you are.
Right.
Enjoy it. That's
As it is said, death and taxes are forever. So,
sorry.
as you rightly said,
Taxes are forever.
death and taxes
Death and taxes
Death and taxes
are forever. That's
are
certainty of
forever.
life.
well. I got two chartered accountants in my house, my son and granddaughter. Well, after they became a chartered accountant, I have left this. I only enjoy the word audit. That's all what I enjoy and nothing else. But one has to be prepared for it sometime or the other and live the life, whatever you have. Enjoy it. As if you're going to die tonight. One doesn't know. Who knows? Don't think that it's a bad omen or something like that. Enjoy it now. That's the way you should.
There are two more questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So the first one is, as I age with every year passing, I am losing confidence for reasons unknown. How do I pep up my confidence? Presently, I am 53 years old.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you need a medical attention. Please don't delay it. Please don't delay it. At the age of 53, if you're feeling like this, I think you certainly require a medical help. Please tell your spouse, children that you have asked me this question and I have answered you like this. Please feel free to go to a doctor. Rather, you must go to a doctor. At the age of 53, if you feel like this, there is a solution for it, 100%. Yeah. And you should be all right, back to normal.
The next question is, if there's a history of Alzheimer's, stroke, dementia in the family, what steps can next generation take to avoid the same?
Well, very, very good question. In my house, my parents died of Alzheimer and dementia. My sister had a Parkinson also, and she also died. My one brother also sudden heart attack within 12 hours he died. Now myself and my another brother who is still alive. My brother, the one who is alive, was a police officer, retired, and he developed a heart attack without any symptoms. And he was treated. He was seen by the cardiac surgeon, and cardiac surgeon, a friend of mine, told me, he says, please leave your brother because it can't be treated. He has got multiple blocks and nothing can be done. So let him live his life, whatever he has. That was in 2007. Now he's still alive. He drives. He drives the car. He enjoys his life. He changed his lifestyle. He has changed his lifestyle. He takes medicines. He takes care of himself, but he's alive. And he is enjoying his life. I'm very proud to say this because he's my brother. I wish all my brothers sisters had that courage. Well, he has shown. So I think death is not the thing. You live your life. Nothing like it. Enjoy the life. Anything?
Correct.
Sorry? What action was taken for
him to survive?
Oh, well, proper diet, proper exercises. Being a police officer, of Maharashtra, Bombay, vada pav milta hai. Now he doesn't touch it also. And irregular lifestyle, late nights, sometimes not coming home at all on duty. So things have changed, and now this plus destiny. He has his lifestyle number of breaths what he is taking. So I think worth it. Don't give up. Okay. He has shown us the example. He is younger to me, much younger to me. Yeah. Anything?
Yeah, there's one comment actually, not cast a question. I find senior citizen homes desirable as one is relieved of routine tasks of cooking, house repairs, etc.
Well, if you can afford it, yes, you can have this thing. But now with the Zomato and Swiggy and everything coming home and delivering your food, you don't have to have a daily routine. Is this question asked by the female? No. Well, I think I can't help it out on that. But I think now the facilities are available so much that you don't have to go out anywhere for anything. You can stay at home. Only thing is you must have a financial properly, no strains. Financial backing is extremely important. I have not touched many things like particularly hospitalization. In Bombay, I always used to say that I like Parsi girls. And I had a patient whose relation was a big priest from Hong Kong. And I went to their house. My wife was also with them. And I told them, she started telling her brother, that doctor wants to be a Parsi next term. So he says, yeah, why? He said, ask him. So he asked me, he said, you want to turn? I said, are you ready to convert me to Parsi? Then only I'll tell. No, is it difficult? I say, all right, then I'll tell you. But you don't repent asking this question. He says, why? Then I told him, I said, when I was young, teenager, I always liked Parsi girls because they wear short skirts and, not saris of like Maharashtrians wear. I like them. What is wrong? So I like those short skirts and lovely thighs and all. So he was shocked. He said, I got two more things to tell you. He said, do you want to listen or you want to stop here? He said, no, please tell. So I said, all right, I'll tell you. The second thing is I love Farsi food. I love sali boti. I love nansak, binda parinda, and all those things. So he was little relaxed. Then he asked me, what is the third one? I said, third one is Parsi General Hospital. I have to just wear a kasti and go to Parsi General Hospital to get admitted because there is no deposit asked. No deposit asked. They see the kasti and you are admitted. You try and go to any other hospital in Bombay when you are ill and see whether you are admitted without paying a deposit. No hospital except Parsi General Hospital and for Parsis. My humble wish is that he make, instead of Yokinawa, I don't mind becoming a Parsi. Am I right?
There's one more question. Hi, doctor. Excellent presentation. You did not mention anything about food habits. Please, can you give your views on that? Food habits.
Food habits. Well, don't change the habits, whatever you have. Rather, it is better not to have habits of eating certain food. Try and get used to all type of foods so that you can assimilate anything. There's nothing wrong in, see, having high cholesterol food is not a culprit. It's not burning it is a culprit. So if you have an exercise, if you keep yourself fit, by burning your calories. Do it. And burning your calories by ways of doing it. I hope I satisfy him. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah.
I find that old age home nowadays having all the facilities like comfortable stay, food, medical attention, etc. But all those people, whenever we have visited, the loneliness aspect is there. That they always feel lonely. When we ask them what we can do for you, my wife and other people are going regularly there. They said we have everything financially, there is no difficulty, our children are sending lots of money here, but someone should come to us, talk to us, come here for 1 hour, 2 hour, talk to us. They just want to talk, they want to say something, whatever they feel, that someone should listen to him what he said. The same thing, that we want to say something, we want to talk to you, because we are feeling here lonely. All our age group people are here, but when we meet children, young people, we feel very happy. So that loneliness aspect.
Well, I think, it's a discipline, or rather programmed discipline. Treating the old age people home. Old age management have got their own rules. At 8 o'clock dinner or 7 o'clock is breakfast, because they have their own problems. So people who are sending their elderly patients, elderly relations to the old age home, they must realize this, that they are bound to happen. They are sending from a full house to the loneliness. So why grumble? You have done it. They have not gone on their own. But there are people, first of all, as I again come to this, money. If you are really properly financially placed, I knew one lady who used to stay in Lonavala, near Kamshet, and she used to travel from there in a taxi, come to Bombay, Sun and Sun Hotel, stay for 2 nights, enjoy the thing, and go back. She had money. She had a son who is in San Francisco, earning fabulously well, not having children. And I told them, I said, look, nowadays the people don't have children for many reasons. So I said, I had a group of that, and I don't know how to. I used to tell them, I said, look, be prepared for your old age without having a children. Not necessarily the children will get along with you. Everybody has got his views. But keeping yourself busy with something, reading, music, fantasizing, do that. You are not making harm to anybody, but you are enjoying yourself. Few minutes. Do that. So far that you don't harm anybody else, anyone, then it is good. But it gives you a pleasure. No? Why not enjoy it? Do it. You have to train them. And this training doesn't come at the age of 80. It comes from the age of 65. You have to be prepared that you are going to retire. You will not be wanted. And you will have to remain alone. So one has to be prepared. That preparation needs from 65 onward.
That is the reply with which question was raised by him. How I prepare for the old age. Any question from Girish? No question has come.
There is one more question on how to tackle anxiety.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a big problem, sir.
Yeah, big problem. And as I said, intergenerational response. Between 60 and 70, anxiety is not there. It's only 70 onwards, it creeps in your mind. 80 onwards, it is worst. 90 onwards, it disappears many a time because you are past that stage. You don't know what is happening. You are beyond that stage of anxiety. You are not even you are beyond the stage of even existence of your own. Forget about the anxiety. You see, you don't know that you are standing in a balcony with a low this thing, and if you bend forward, you will fall and die. Fall, die or not, they don't know. I have interrogated interviewed those people. But at the 60-year-old, she would stand, shout from the kitchen, "Arey, tell the sama to wakto khali." He's bending forward too much. Say, hold in. And then he will put on the gas and come outside. By the time the vegetable get burned. But that anxiety is between 60 years. So it is the latest thing that intergenerational response between the younger and the older people changes for good also. It's not necessary, but maybe it may be changing for good because it is not known. You're not aware of the things. So one has to be prepared.
Sir, you said that you retired just 3-4 months back. How you are preparing yourself, and what lesson you are taking from you?
Lots of inputs. I mean, I never thought ki, so much plannings are required. As I said,
Yeah.
when I am at home, I am very casual. Sometimes my what do you call, my jersey will be of short, half pant. But that matter, my wife will always tell me, "Arey, काय तुम्ही retired झाला, जरा व्यवस्थित राहा घरात." Honestly, I am giving honest reply. She's telling me, retired झाल्यानंतर, now she's telling me, keep yourself busy. But what I have observed in last 3-4 months, there are so many things to be done at home also. So I am walkला जाताना सुद्धा you go very neat, develop a friend circle, because I have 40 years in this, that too in banking industry. I mean, there is total disconnect. Now I'm getting connected to my kids. Both my sons are there. So anxiety, as you rightly said, sometimes I lose patience.
Yeah, that's what I'm
When
saying.
they get up from the bed and that bed is lying over there and they need to rush for their office and all. त्याला सांगावं लागतं, रे बाबा तुझा कमीत कमी बेड तरी उचलून आत टाक.
Let me tell you one anecdote. I have a very good friend of mine. We almost grew up together. And one day she phoned me and she says, "Arvind, I want to come and see you." I say, "What happened?" He says, "No, I'll come and see you personally." Yeah, I was worried. I said, "Something really bad?" He says, "Quite. But I want to talk to you personally." So I said, "All right, I will come." He said, "No, you don't come because I will come to your house." She came to my house and she says, I asked her, I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "My problem is my husband." I said, "What is wrong?" He has been known to be a very polite, docile man. I said, "Do you harass him? Tu tras dete ka?" He said, "Nahi re, to bala tras deto." I said, "What happened?" He says, "See, every Wednesday, I come to some Dadar place, some Bhagini Samaj or something. Not Bhagini Samaj, some place where they about 20, 30 women gather together for the last 10 years, every Wednesday. And they enjoy the talking, chatting, partying, and they go home." He said, "Now my husband is retired. So he says, "काय तू बुधवारी कुठे जाते?" अरे हे सर जाते मैत्रिणींकडे भेटायला. हे सर पण तू जाऊ नको. हे सर वाय? हे सर नाही मी घरी आहे ना आता. अरे but you were all the time in the office. That time I was alone in the house. I used to go for. He said, "काय तुझं लफडं आहे काय?" That was a pinch. तुझं लफडं आहे काय? So my friend asked me, he said, "I wish I had a lafda." But it was a very nice period for the last 20 years. I would have had it very nicely without bothering about him. He's jobless. So he keeps on thinking like this, no? All sorts of things. So it is better to fantasize that your wife is having a lafda rather than having bothering yourself and anxiety. Anxiety is the one, keeps on changing, but don't allow it to go beyond that line, because then you require medicines, and medicines will not be stopped. All psychiatric medicines, they create more problems when they are stopped rather than taken. But people say, "Ke are savai lagel, it will be habit forming and dependence." Well, you don't allow yourself to go to that level. No? Keep yourself busy, read, involve yourself with something. Do something concrete. There are many things. I knew one gentleman, he was a retired deputy commissioner of municipality. He used to go and read books to the blind people. He had a group. He said every once in a week or once in 10 days, he used to go and or talk to them. All blind people were there. So tell them stories and everything. You create a work.
Coming back to your question, I keep myself first morning 3-4 after my bath and all to keep myself up, updated with what the things happening in my industry and all that. I will not be missing it. I want to be in touch with them. And the good part, as you rightly said, at least ladies, they have, that's a kitty club asto. They once in a month, they come together, they spend some time and all. What I've observed as far as male group जरी असला, तर most of the time they talk about, drinks घ्यायला त्यांना. कधी जरी 4 जण जरी भेटले, gents fight मध्ये, so they will sit together in a bar or whatever to do. But at least ladies, they have.
So from this question arises, sir, whether old age management is better done by the ladies rather than by gents.
Any day. Any day.
So therefore I said,
Eh,
one more point.
Yeah.
Just one more point, doctor. I think she will be retiring very shortly in the month of December.
Your wife
Wife will be retiring in
and no
December.
lafda.
No
So
लफडा,
far.
absolutely. No लफडा. तर आता मी तिला म्हटलं, अरे आता तिने मला क्लिअरली सांगितलंय, मी रिटायर्ड जरी झाली तरी आठवड्यातले 1-2 दिवस मी माझी बॅग घेणार आहे, कुठेतरी जाणार फिरायला. So
Don't ask.
that is for sure. But that is how this has to be that way, because
It
she has
has to
been telling me for ages, तुम्ही बँकेसाठी एवढं वाहून घेतलंय की तुम्हाला घर वगैरे काय दिसतच नाही. Bank job.
And she's a employed lady.
She is employed.
Yeah.
lady. So her responsibilities are not that much, but तुम्ही bank आणि bank last त्याच्याशिवाय तुम्हाला घरात काय घडतं, I come to know in last 4 months घरात बाबा घर कसं चालतं.
Well,
So I'm mentally otherwise ready to how it's happening, but lot of inputs I've got it from today's session.
Thank you.
Doctor, honestly सांगतो,
thank you very
काही
much.
छोट्या गोष्टी आहेत ना, त्या आपण कधी we don't look at it also. कितीतरी छोट्या गोष्टी तुम्ही सांगितल्या,
Thank
hobby
you.
करा आणि हे करा.
Thank
So
you.
I will be taking some liberty to talk to you in person also. I may bother you if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. The lady has a, yeah.
As you grow older, sometimes you feel that rigidity creeps in, and it is more with men than in women. Why?
Sorry, what is
Rigidity. That means
rigidity?
They stick to their point. Stick
of,
to their point of view. They don't want to change. What they say is correct, and
Yeah.
everybody else. Sorry, I'm not going to listen to you. Whatever I'm saying is correct. So
Yeah.
I've noticed that it happens more and more as a person grows older, and it's more in men than in women. Why?
more in men than.
Why?
Well, you're right. Absolutely, this happens because you're.
Is it a complex
No,
that you feel all of a sudden that you have a, you're not so important, that nobody
Yeah,
is now
it
going
is,
to respect me because I'm retired.
no.
and they
What
think
you
I'm
call
not
is
useful enough in the house. Is that the reason?
it is self-awareness that there is a fear that you may not be wanted, or there is a fear that your word will be challenged all the time, or something like that. Well, I think this is it's not a mental disease. It is called mental aberration. Well, so you can think like this, but at the same time, you don't want to think like this, and you don't know how to get rid of, correct yourself. You are in that such a. The best thing is to divert your mind. And now, how to divert is, of course, what you like. I always say, geriatric medicine is one-to-one dialogue, doctor to the patient. No generalized statement. What I'm telling you now or what I'm telling him just now may not be necessarily true with him. It may be different because his problem is different. Your problem is different. So you create yourself. One person I told him, he was saying, I'm bored. I said, do one thing. As a joke, I told him. I said, you remove all clothes from your cupboard, clean them, find out what are not fitting you or anything, and give it to me. I'll give it to somebody. So he said, "Tane kai honar?" I said, you try and do that. Try and do it first. He said, "Nahi re, ane kai honar tha." I said, look, if you are not ready to do it's a medical solution, I'm telling you. Then I told him that. After about a week, he did. He says, Arvind Sangto. He was my friend, childhood friend. He said, I'm Matarana Tapasto Ata now, he talks anything, whatever. He did. He took out quite a number of saris which were not used by his wife. And a number of clothes of it. So I collected them. I said, I will give it to her. Now I have a place where to give it. So I said, all right. Then he said, Ata kai karu? Ata baikocha kapat saaf kar. I told her, do that. I said, let's see whether she allows you to do it. Convince her that you want to clean her cupboard. And she did. And he never asked me this question, ke kai karu? I don't know, but he got involved with something else. Yeah? Perhaps he may have started telling other guys also that kapat saaf karo. That sort of thing. One doesn't know how to. Well, but I think it requires efforts. It's not a thing. But not to remain dependent is very, very important. You have to, that should be your goal. That I don't want to be dependent on anybody. This is, whatever happens, try and do that myself. So that's it. Anything? Thank you very much. Very nice interaction. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.